only 36% of the Caribbean. The Amazonas, there is 46%, so that's all pretty standard. May want to try to get a little bit more control here. Obviously, here in Safi is doing just fine as well, but in order to balance everything off, where is all this trade needs to go through the Caribbean, and right now the Spanish don't control enough of said Caribbean at this point in time. Where is Greece? EU4 dev. No, 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 no. I did not mean where is the country of... I did not mean the location of Greece. I mean, show me the country of Greece. It is not there at the moment. And it's not there at the start of the game either. Whenever it becomes relevant, I'm sure we'll do some stuff with it. Taraskans, they're at 35. It's starting to tick up. No looming disasters. It's got some good national unrest. Oh, never mind. As he says, instantly some pretender rebels pop up and trying to take the remaining territory right there, or at least trying to get their own king on the throne. That's that is broken. Okay, so that is a good illustration right now of why we are always saying these things before the broadcast, specifically about some things not be working. And this right here is a good example of that. As you can see, the idea screen is currently broken. This has to do once again with the fact that they are currently running in a beta form of at least a development form of the current build, which means that some stuff may or may not work properly, and this is a good example of why. So, yeah, this is a good example of why we're always saying up front, like, look, we're allowing you guys to have a look at our development of our expansions. Just be aware that some shit may not actually be working properly. And that right there, it's probably for yours. Oh, no, it's actually not for... Great Britain, but in this case for Sweden, the screen doesn't work. That's probably a good example right there of how much in development this is right now. Once again, anything you see at the moment is not an accurate representation of what you will get when the actual expansion gets to your hands. Now, there's probably a whole bunch of ideas floating around here that it just works in progress, and who knows, we may actually desync at some point in time, mainly because new features add additional stress to the netcode. We shall see how that actually pans out. Now, there's a bunch of new mechanics as well that specifically for colonizing nations cause some problems, and we will go into that later during future dev diaries, which you need to keep a eye out for. If you want to go and have more details about that, what you got to do is go to paradoxplaza.com, and they'll all be posted there, and we'll most likely have a couple of broadcasts discussing more details on why certain mechanics work as they do in these new nations. Does Portugal still exist somewhere in the map? No, Portugal has been purged. Yeah, they were originally... They had to move their capital to South America, but... Hey, hello. What's this? Is that Holland? Oh my god, Holland has managed to get a colony. Let's take a look at Holland, shall we? It's not bad for an AI nation who is just chilling around. He's got exploration ideas. Take a look at his exploration... or like his colonization range. That's pretty good. Can colonize all the way down here. And for those people that are not aware, let's take a look at Holland. Are they still... Have they been released? Interesting. Because they were a vassal of Great Britain for the longest time. No, they are still a vassal. Doesn't look like Great Britain is looking to integrate them anytime soon. They do have a bunch of other territories down here as well. Let's take a look. There's Holland and Abenaki, so it's not really an issue. Obviously, we have all these colonial nations down here as well. Holland needs to form the Netherlands. Well, let's take a look at the cultural map mode, shall we? We actually haven't had the Forum Netherlands event, and it looks like Brabant is going to be taking Cologne as well. Where's the cultures map mode? Yeah, all the that's Dutch right here. So I don't know whether or not we're going to be seeing the Netherlands form out of Brabant. Yeah, form the Dutch nation. Own score province, Zealand and Holland. I doubt it's going to happen anytime soon. But yeah, it looks like Holland has decided. Okay, let's have our own colony all the way down here in Baja or Bahia. I'm not 100% sure on the pronunciation, mainly because my Portuguese is rather minimal. Let's take a look here. The Tarascan, they're 51. It's gonna happen soon. Doom. Hello, Poland. What are you up to? Poland's still not. Whoa, Poland's huge, actually. Poland's managed to take massive amounts of territory. They still have a potential peasant war on their hand, which would be bad. They are currently, yeah, trying to regain their manpower. But the progress of 0.5 a month is rather hardcore. At this rate, they're going to be at war within 2 years. Bahia. Is that the one? Alright. Lithuania. Pretty standard stuff. There's no peasants. There's no disasters on the horizon. They're just chilling out. Will there be an own Kimu moon worship religion? Let's take a look at Kimu, shall we? Aztecs. Oh, I would take a look at Kimu, but they're kind of not. You know, they don't really have a thing going on at the moment. Let's take a look at their ideas. Incan ideas. Machu Picchu, Mitma, Tambo, Way Station, all that. So they have their own ideas and all that. They are currently an Andean tech group. Great Britain, in the meantime, they are most definitely Western. But yeah, a lot of polish is being put into Central and South America. A lot of work being done here at the moment to get that rolling, and it's looking really interesting. And we're looking at the development so far of this particular expansion has been rather fascinating because like there's piles of books about Aztecs everywhere at the moment, which is kind of curious. No, actually, it's not curious. It's just, you know, it's kind of sometimes interesting when Wiz goes down outside of the building and he starts building these tiny step pyramids and starts sacrificing QA people. That's kind of when you have to start to worry, is when that sort of thing starts to happen. So, yeah. Yeah, it's not very good. Let's take a look at our scores that are currently running. Let's take a look here at the country overall scores. Score comparison. Score right now, it looks like Great Britain is still in the lead with 1,791 Ottomans in second place, Spain third, and Ming as fourth, actually. I don't think Ming is westernized, but let's take a look whether or not Ming is westernized. I doubt they are. And if they are, that'd be crazy town. No, they're still Chinese, so nothing too crazy there. The Protestant League War has begun. So right now it is Austria, Burgundy, Salzburg, Naxos, and Brabant together versus all of these dudes. And to put things into perspective, I believe Spain is part of this war as well. This is what the war looks like. See this red little area over here? Yeah, they are kind of screwed because they decided to go to war with Spain and the Big Blue Blob at the same time. I would not want to be on the receiving end of this particular war, but let's take a look at what sort of engagements we actually have. Taking a look at some of this combat so far. Score, that doesn't look like there's been these massive engagements. It says -3, so we haven't seen huge engagements anywhere. I'm just looking if Austria actually has any armies anywhere. Oh, they've got 10, so they did lose a bunch. I can't really find out where they are. But yeah, the Catholics are going to lose their place within the Protestant within the Holy Roman Empire. So it looks like Austria is no longer going to be emperor. That's a bit of a shame. Does PI read the chat? Yes, we do. Sorry, Habsburgs. I'm afraid this is the end of Habsburgia. Even though it's a Valois, oh no, that's France. Yeah, it's a Valois actually. So I don't think we actually have any Habsburgs anywhere. Let's take a look at our monarchs. Best leader in the world. No, that's not really relevant. Yeah, emperors. Yes, Habsburg for a while now, but it's been 1515. Yeah, Matthias II. It's been a little while now. So France had themselves a. They managed to get themselves into on the Habsburgian throne. It's a bit of a shame for the Habsburgs, but yeah, they're all gone now. Such a shame. And these Habsburgs aren't Carlings. That's a good point. And good points deserve to be made. Habsburgs are surprisingly a lot better than Carlings ever would be. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, there's another feature. You can send your conquistadors to hunt for the 7 cities of gold, or your explorer on exploration missions around the world for additional ducats. You can always like that. Get more money. And that kind of puts the conquistadors and the army leaders at a difference, because obviously before the conquistadors and the army leaders were not really all that different from each other. They had the same rule sets, they had the same stats, etc. The only difference between conquistadors and army leaders and generals, etc., would be that conquistadors would be able to travel through terra incognita, and the same would go for admirals and explorers. Now, with this new function, it gives conquistadors new things to do, but whether or not we're going to be nerfing conquistadors from a statistics point of view is a different question. So, is it ducats or ducats? Depends on where you're from. Why do you keep destroying Portugal? Because historically, Portugal was a tiny nation that was not so much a colonization power. It was a power designed around trading and building trading posts. When you have a small country with a relatively small population, you don't have the manpower to do colonization on a large scale like the British or the French did. So what that means is that when a nation that does a lot of trade and gets a ton of money, all of a sudden, one of the big countries is like, those dudes over there are making more money than I am, and I've got more manpower. Then small nation tends to get destroyed by large nation. That's why, as a small nation, you need some big dogs as your friends and marry into those families to begin with. So there's your answer regarding destroying Portugal. It's like in history, it's too small to survive in the long term when it comes to the colonization game. It's one of the main reasons why the Netherlands are not a very large colonial power in history. They were more of a trade power, whereas the English, where they're like, you know, we have all these prisoners, let's dump them on this continent down south. That is why. Can you show us the player map mode? Let's show you the player map mode. Player map mode looks a little bit like this. As you can see, there's quite a lot of territory currently going on with a lot of people just chilling around. And it looks like these guys are controlling two nations at the same time. We got Fido, Eri, Greycall, Jonas, Johan himself here as well. There's not much activity going on in the HRE in the center area, let's put it that way. And we got this guy down here. He is playing at the Papal State, and if we go over to Great Britain, they're just chilling around here. 13 colonies and all that, and then if we go over towards South America, Custon playing as the Inca. They're gonna have a really difficult time trying to westernize. They're westernizing right now, so we may actually see the Inca being able to get out of this without much trouble. If we go over towards Ming, they're down here. We got a bunch of people here in Central Asia. We have somebody here in Vajendigad. We got Solsara playing here as Ming and already colonizing all of these areas up north. And that's pretty much the gist of it. And there is a tiny English colony here at the bottom on, this is Java or Sumatra. I'm going to go with Java and call this Sumatra for the sake of it. Anyway, let's go back towards Europe, where the current wars are currently roaming. Yes. This war is not going to last very long. Austria is being demolished